last night. Kemba Walker passed Del Curry as the Hornets' all-time leader in scoring. And he got a little emotional. Take a listen.
Everyone excited for you. What are you thinking?
Man, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here, man. A lot of people from where I'm from, don't make it. And, through my Lord and Savior, my family, a lot of hard work. It's been a long ride, but this is a huge accomplishment. I'm excited. I wish it was a better game. I wish I would have played a little better, but great accomplishment.
Really nice moment, and you love that when the game just humbles you to the point where you see that this is my life, and you can kind of take a step back and look at yourself.
I get it, because he's a very good player, but in this era of just superstar point guards, he really doesn't get.
He gets overlooked.
Yeah, he gets overlooked, and so I think that was part of it too, because he doesn't really get his just due.
Yeah, I think a significant part was too that he was rumored to be traded right before the trade deadline. Didn't think that he would be able to get this mark. I heard Del Curry during the game doing the telecast and how proud he was of Kemba and what he's done for the organization, not only on the court, but what he's meant to that Charlotte community.
And Kemba's exceeded expectations every step of the way. He leads UConn to a national championship. He then, as the 9th pick of the draft, has improved basically every year of his career as a 6'1" barely point guard in the strongest era of point guards maybe ever, like certainly on the
ever.
He's been great. Like, he is a guy we don't talk about enough.
And it was really nice. LeBron actually ran over in the middle of that, gave him a hug and said congratulations, and he said it meant a lot for him to see LeBron.
It's a really cool moment last night.
All right, speaking of LeBron.
On your night, I dropped 40 on y'all.
Look, we know the saying that records are meant to be broken, but this is getting a little ridiculous. The 33-year-old LeBron James, Cavs star, tied Michael Jordan's record streak last night of 866 consecutive games scoring in double digits. Then he scored 31 more points. LeBron finished with 41 in a win over MJ's team, the Hornets. Here's LeBron on tying Jordan's mark.
It just means I've kept my body in tune, in shape throughout all these years, all these games, 866. So anytime I'm in the same conversation with Mike and other great guys, it lets me know I'm doing the right thing, and hopefully I can try to continue that. So to all my teammates over the 866 games, my coaches, everybody, they've given me the opportunity to do that. So it's just very humbling.
Chris, put this in perspective for us. Of all the accomplishments that LeBron James has, where does this one lie? How impressive is it?
Well, I wouldn't say it's his most impressive, but it's very impressive, obviously. I mean, like he always says when he breaks scoring records, he's not viewed as a scorer and doesn't really consider himself a scorer, and yet he still is putting up all these marks. LeBron James, we know everybody talks about the GOAT conversation with him and Michael Jordan. What he's doing right now is he's following, not purposely, but right now he's following like the Wilt Chamberlain path to being considered the best player of all time. Like, most rankings have Wilt Chamberlain ahead of Bill Russell. Even though Bill Russell won 11 rings, Wilt only won 2, but Wilt was so individually dominant. I call the NBA record book the biography of Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Because his numbers are so ridiculous that people say he was the greatest player, he's better than Bill Russell. That's
a lot
what
of the rules
LeBron
were changed because of Bill Russell.
Exactly.
I mean, because of yes.
LeBron is racking up records. He's going to be the only player in the top 5 scoring. Maybe he'll be the all-time leading scorer in total points. And the only player in the top 5 scoring, top 10 assists. He's going to have more rebounds than Jordan. The longevity will be much longer. So that will be this is just one more record that'll be, for those that want to argue LeBron, that'll be how they go. It won't work for me unless he gets more rings.
Right.
But for those that want to, like our man right here.
For you, he doesn't need, tell me if I'm wrong, he doesn't need 6 rings.
No.
But he needs more than 3.
Yes,
he needs to win at least another championship.
If you are in your prime for, say, what's this, his 15th year? Say he has an 18-year prime, CC, where he's great for 18 years, top 5 player, but you only got 3 rings. At some point, it begins to work against you.
Especially
like, you were
in
so
basketball.
great this long, but why'd you only win?
Because if you're the best player in the game in basketball, you have the ability to be able to dictate offense and defense and dominate the game. That's why the championships have been one of the benchmarks for the greatest players that ever played in the NBA.
Listen, the championship discussion is always going to be a very difficult hill for LeBron to climb. And I can go through it that in LeBron's been to the finals 8 times. 7 of those finals, the opposing team has had at least three Hall of Famers on it. The only one that didn't was actually one that he lost to the 2011 Mavericks. We can talk about the fact that Jordan never faced a single opponent with 3 Hall of Famers on it. We can talk about, while we want to discuss finals losses, what about first-round losses, of which LeBron has 0. But when it comes to the numbers, like there was another record LeBron set in the previous game. The oldest player to ever have 2,000 points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists in a season. He also was the youngest player to do that. There are going to be a list of records that LeBron doubles up on, becomes the youngest player to do something, and then a decade or 12 or 14 years later becomes the oldest player to do something. We've seen him do that with a few records already this year. But this one in particular, I remember people talking about this because Jordan last scored, his 866th game with 10 straight points came as a wizard. Like his game in the single digits when the record was broken came as a wizard. And I remember people talking about how it would be more likely that someone would beat his 6 finals MVPs than beat this record, because when Kareem had it, like Kareem had almost doubly lapped the field, 787. Second place when Kareem set, or Karl Malone was at 575. Kareem was at 787. Those are 2 guys who their biggest testament to their greatness was their longevity, was their ability, sustained peak, as you guys are talking about. The fact that LeBron is now going to pass Jordan Friday, right? Like, we would be shocked if he didn't. We don't see any end in sight. When you look at the longest streak Steph has ever had is 74, right? Steph's current streak is actually 1 because he left a game due to injury. Kobe's longest streak was 211. Giannis's longest streak is 81. KD, by the way, I give KD credit. KD got to 562 and then had an off night. KD's 5th on this list, behind Karl Malone. 562, then had an off night. Starts all the way over. Like now, his streak right now is at 63. So he will never, to do this, to never tweak a hamstring in the first quarter. Like, we talk about LeBron not missing games due to injury, but what about leaving a game early due to injury, not being able to come back, that as happened to Joel Embiid last night? Like, you get elbowed in the face, you can't come back. The showing up every night, and to me it was fitting, Chris, that he did this in game 75 of 75 that he's played on a back-to-back in year 15, where he goes 41, 10, and 8. Like, it was the Iron Man element of this is unbelievable.
Also, the optics. You watch how he's doing it. Sometimes he can do it above the rim. Sometimes he can do it from beyond the 3-point arc. You see him constantly pushing the pace and playing more at point guard. So it's not only impressive, but it's impressive how he's gone through, how he got through the first 100, the second 100, and how this last 100, it's been difficult. But the overall ability, if you like watching basketball, you have to watching LeBron play. He is one of the greatest guys that we have ever seen in playing this game. And it's still a pleasure because they played awful 2 nights ago in Miami. He comes on a back-to-back. People don't think, you mentioned 866 on the back-to-back after the Miami. Like, he could have mailed it in. But to be able to do that and be consistent with it is much respect to the accomplishment.
He could push this thing way, way out of range, because as his athleticism goes, whenever that will happen, he's so skilled. And as you said, his jump shot appears to be getting better. His 3-point shot is getting better. If he wants to go into the post, he can clearly do that. So he will still be a very effective player for a long time, even as his athleticism wanes. And you could even put him at point if you wanted to.
Just real quick in the Jordan versus LeBron discussion, one thing you didn't think about. He is 30-1 against the Hornets since Jordan bought the team. So, I mean,
well, I was there.
Y'all can have that as the GOAT. No problem.
I was there.
Ron probably will be a better owner than Michael Jordan. But as far as basketball, take that loss. Y'all hold that down.
Broussard, thank you so much for being
you,
here today. Coming up, the quarterback shooting up the draft boards. We'll let you know who that is next on First Things First.
I was there when LeBron.